Welcome everyone to my next project. We have The Legend of Zelda: Oracle of Seasons. This was released in 2001 by Nintendo, and it was released as a pair. This is the one I decided to play first. It was released with the Oracle of Ages, and they're connected, and I'll get more into that later, but for now, let's start. If you haven't noticed, I made a practice file. It's not finished yet, but yeah, I needed to practice. And yes, that is my real name. Anyway, we're starting out here. So everyone knows. And, well, this is honestly one of my more favorite of the Zelda games. And I'm probably going to get a lot of shit for that, but whatever. Anyway, here we go. Start at 5. I'm not quite sure how loud this is going to be. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, here we are. Oh no, we're on the ground and random red-haired chick. Yay. God, been out of practice. We have control! We can walk around! We can... Yeah, we can walk around. We can't pause yet. We can't even look at our map. We go down and... Oh look, grass. We can't push it. We can't do anything. Anyway. I don't know if anyone can hear the very slight music, but as you get closer to this side, the music turns up. And there we are. You want to talk to everyone around here. So it's a group of performers, obviously. And according to this chick, the dancer's name is Din. Kind of odd name for a girl. But yeah, I'll get into the name of Din. If anyone's ever played any Zelda games before, especially Ocarina of Time, the three Triforce goddesses are Din, Nehru, and Furore. And, well, this game kind of takes on that mythology a little bit and gives you Din. And, obviously, she's going to be important, but let's talk to this weird clothed chick. Are we alright? Yeah, we're good. Ooh, Impa, the troop's cook. More mythology. Impa has been in a handful of Zelda games as far as I remember. She's pretty pivotal to Ocarina of Time. Now, for this LP in general, I'm going to pretend that the people watching have never played a Zelda game before. So I'm going to be teaching you about, like, certain items that you may or may not know about. I am going to be running for 100% as far as heart pieces go. The rings we'll get into later and are really hard to collect all 100% of. So I'm not going to be doing that unless I can. But anyway, we're done there, so let's talk to Din. How do we do? Yay! So, Din found us after the red light. If you watch the intro, Link went to visit the Triforce for whatever reason. It's never really explained in great detail, but the Triforce's power sent him here. We don't know where this is, so let's go. Talk to her again, and she'll want to dance with you. And then we get this cool little picture of Link awkwardly dancing with Din, who is apparently a lot more tan than her picture tells. I think it's kind of cute. He looks really awkward. Anyway. He's a good dancer. It's like, damn. He looks so awkward. Here it mentions that on Link's left hand there is a triangle on it. And it's a sacred mark of Hyrule, like she says. And they kind of give it away. anyone with that mark is a special hero of fate. So they continue dancing, and oh shit. Can't anything be peaceful for more than 5 seconds? And apparently Din is being called something called the Oracle of Seasons. Wink wink. Namesake. And here, this awkward voice I just zapped the entire camp is Onox, General of Darkness. Awkward tornado! That's just beating these poor people up for no good reason, and there he goes. Yeah, special hero. You get him. Uh-oh. Takes Din, runs in, gets us thrown out like a bunch of ragdoll. And meanwhile, at an awkward castle-looking place, we have Din strapped to a rock. Let the hentai things begin. I'm kidding. And for all those who don't know, this isn't Hyrule, which is the central land around most Zelda stories. This is called Holodrum. Yeah. I'll get more into this in a second. Four crystals. I don't know if that was supposed to be referenced to anything, but here, Din has been imprisoned. Not good. And with her imprisonment, the Temple of Seasons, apparently very important to this land, starts to go underground. And all the color junking around right now is the seasons being thrown around. Michael laughter, and then Impa wakes us up. Are we alright? We just got hit by a tornado. I don't think I'm very good. And here, it's told that Impa is the nurse to Hyrule's Princess Zelda. Again, this is true to the mythology of the series. Very close, anyway. And, saying kind of what we just found out, that Din is the Oracle of Seasons. And what the Oracle of Seasons is a person who wields control over the forces of nature. Zelda has powers that told of a certain shadow drawing around Din. Impa was instructed to take Din to Hyrule in secret. But apparently Impa's been hurt, and she can't go anywhere. Apparently Link and Din are fated to meet, and the triangle on our left hand must be real because we're kinda here. And now Impa wants us to use our gift of whatever it is. I'm not really sure what they're wanting, but we're supposed to go visit the Mako Tree in Horon Village. So apparently we talked to this tree and he helps. Anyway, we now have more control! We don't want to go north just yet, because there's monsters there, and if you pay attention to the top left of our screen, the B and A thing is empty. We have nothing! Anyway, we go south, and according to the music, we're in Horon Village! That fast, huh? This is Horon Village. She's never seen us before, and she's guiding us to the Mako Tree. Apparently, these flowers, right here, listen, bloom in spring. Now, whenever you enter a new section of the map, there will be a symbol in the top left corner telling you which season it is. This changes randomly, like, I'll show a quick example of that, because this is the gimmick of the entire game. You go up, and it's winter. Now it's fall. Yeah. Try to keep up. Horon Village in general changes seasons dramatically over time, as opposed to the one area staying that particular season. But first we want to go in here. And apparently this is the mayor's house, who is obsessed with something called a Gasha nut. I'm calling it Gasha because Gasha just doesn't sound right. Anyway, we talked to the mayor, and he's Rule, the mayor of Horon Village. And something about Gasha seeds: if you plant them in fertile soil, then they become nuts. Or have trees that make nuts. And seeing as we don't know anything about Gasha seeds, he gives us one. Yay. Now, one thing you'll care to notice in the mayor's house, there's a crack in the wall right here. We can't do anything about that right now. But, yeah. Let's go. And soft soil looks like this. So, you can plant a Gasha seed. Plant it. Now, the game will tell you something later on, but I'm going to tell you now. No matter how many hours you spend just sitting in place, that seed will never germinate. It'll never become more than it is. In order to germinate a seed, you have to kill monsters. So basically, how fast the tree blooms is how fast you can kill shit. Anyway, we talked to this guy. Admits that the seasons are kind of wonky. And we have a shop. I'm ignoring that because we don't have any money. For completionist purposes, we're going to visit this house. People are going nuts. Talk to him. He's Bippin, expert arborist. He knows a lot about trees. And apparently his wife Blossom just had a kid. And there she is. And let's talk to her. Her first child, a healthy baby boy, but she's having trouble choosing a name, and she wants us to help with it. What would we call him? You know what? For the sake of it, I'm using my name. Yep. You would name him Wade? Yes. Now, you kind of want to remember what you name him. Because, as I said, Seasons has a twin game called The Oracle of Ages, and you can transfer data between the two. And don't mean to spoil a whole lot, but that couple will be there in the second game. They're in both games, but they'll be in the second transfer data game. And you kind of earn extra points if you remember the kid's name. Apparently the Maku tree stands by the gate to the east of town. A hero with a sword will come to speak with him, which is a legend. So, a hero with a sword. One thing we lack. Talk to him. He's sleeping, obviously. And this is the gate the older man was referring to. We read the sign. Maku Tree Gate, show courage to gain passage. Yeah, we can't. Anyway, these small saplings right here can't be dealt with right now, but you see the piece of heart right there. I'll get back to that. There's a clock shop. Not important yet. Let's talk to the painter guy. Kind of skipped over him earlier. Do you know of the Hero's Cave near the western coast? The Hero Sword is said to be hidden there, but no one has ever found it. I wonder where we're going. Anyway, first I want to go into the ring shop and talk to Vazu, the jeweler. And he's going to explain jewelry. Rings are made from mystic seeds, have very special powers. If you wear one, its mystical powers will be passed to you, but you must keep it in your ring box. The mystical power will gradually weaken and you won't be able to use it. Understood? This is a poor translation. Your rings will not lose power. You just can only use the power of the rings in the box. Do we understand? Yes, we do. We don't have a ring box, so he gives you this. Level 1 ring box. It can hold only one ring. Oh no. And he also gives us a ring to appraise. You have to appraise the rings to find out what they can do, or even be able to wear it. and he's allowing us to appraise this one for free, so yes. It's called the Friendship Ring. Symbol of a meeting. This ring does jack fucking nothing! At least in memory. Anyway, it's just a tutorial-like thing. It's 20 rupees per ring to get it appraised, and if you have two of the same ring, he'll buy the one extra ring for 30. So you can actually make profit 10 rupees a pop if you get extra rings. And he's going to you go to the list when you talk to him, and you can select rings you have. Unfortunately, I only have one ring, obviously. There are, in total, 64 rings. But we don't want a ring right now, so let's go. And he reminds you every single time that rings do nothing unless worn. Well, that's pretty much all there is to do here for the moment. So what we want to do is go up yonder. We'll go back to the clock shop in a while. Over here is a woman talking about the harvest, saying that the seasons are kind of jonky and, you know, what have you. Anyway, we leave off to the west, and it's winter again. There are enemies around here. You want to ignore them, because, again, we have no weapon. There's a cave here, and just for sake of showing it, it's a fairy's fountain. If you're weak, you want to come back here, and she will heal you to full health. It's pretty nifty. Anyway, you want to dodge these guys, and he said the cave was on the western coast, and here we are. Hero's Cave. This is, again, the tutorial dungeon. Avoid all monsters at all costs. Pretty simple. Now, sometimes in dungeons the doors will close behind you. You have to sort out a puzzle or some shit. In this room, you move the block. That's all. I'll head north first. And again, you want to move the block out of your way. This is pretty generic puzzle solving. It's not always blocks you have to move. Sometimes you have to kill every monster in the room. Anyway, you come here, and these little red things can't hurt you. They can, however, slow you down and make you incapable of swinging any weapon you have. And in the chest, after hitting the switch, we have the small key. So, yeah. I'll warn you guys right now, I'll BS a lot during dungeons, simply because a lot of puzzles are recycled, and sometimes there's a decent amount of backtracking in these places, so prepare to hear a few rants. Just saying. Anyway, we come back to the brick room, move it again, and you want to go south this time. And again, you want to keep dodging these things. These enemies are called keys. The red things outside are Octoroks, and I'm not too truly sure about what the hell the red dots are, but the green ones are bigger and can hurt you. Just for the record. Anyway, we come into this final room, and we have the wooden sword. No joke. It's a sign of courage. It is also our first item of the game. And we automatically leave the hero's cave. But I kinda wanted to go do something. Anyway, we can kill shit now. The red things are Octoroks. Just thought I'd point that out. But yeah, I want to kill some things, so. You can only use 2 items at a time. The B and the A button is assigned to each. It doesn't really matter what's assigned to what. It works both ways, but my sword is generally going to be the B button. Thank you. Anyway, you cut the grass, you jump in the well, and you come to 30 rupees. Rupees are currency in this game, and it's really important to remember that because sometimes shit gets really expensive. Anyway, we leave. And now, we can go do stuff. But before I talk to the Mako tree, I want to show off the shop now that we have a pinch of cash. Die. And, nothing truly epic. And again, the season changed. That is kind of important to remember. Horon Village is notorious for jumping seasons. Anyway, you go into the shop, and what I want to buy right here is the shield. Wooden shield, 30 rupees. Yeah! We're outfitted. The shield can reflect some random items that enemies try to toss at you. I don't use it a whole lot, but it's required for a certain enemy later on. If you want to buy bombs, like, grind around until you can afford bombs, do it, do whatever. Anyway, the sword can cut grass. Nifty. Undergrass is money, and hearts if you need to refill. Anyway, that's pretty much it for Horon Village. But now, walk up to the gate, and you say it still doesn't open. What you want to do is just swing your sword. Awesome twirl. One more thing, if you hold the sword down, it charges and you can spin. This does twice the amount of damage you would normally do. But for now, this will be the end of part 1 of The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Seasons. This has been Fenrir, and I hope to see you all next time. Take care, everyone.